I am a 21-year-old male, and I just went out on a date with a girl named Steph, who is also 21 years old.
Okay.
We met on Tinder, messaged for a little while, and then she invited me out for a drink on a date. We didn't message that much, just about hobbies and things we liked, but we didn't get too familiar with each other. But I figured, hey, why not meet her in person? We can go ahead and see if there's a connection in person rather than in text. That way, neither of us has to waste any time.
I like this because we always hear about the struggles of dating as a woman. You know, is it easy to date today as a man? No, it's not. It's challenging. Just keep listening.
So I get to the place where we were supposed to meet at,
right,
and things are fine at first. Now, mind you, she invited me on this date, and she also picked the place. 20 minutes in, this girl is complaining about everything. She's complaining about her drink. She's complaining about the staff. She's even complaining about how the place is decorated. And I said, oh, okay. Well, we're in walking distance of about 12 other places. We can go somewhere else and be there in 5 minutes. Would you like to leave? She said no. I said, okay, well, what made you pick this place? She said, I picked it because I've been here before. And I said, okay. So I'm thinking it's kind of weird to invite someone somewhere to a place you've already been if you're going to complain about how you don't like it.
But notice how he had a solution immediately. Shout out to my guy right there.
So that didn't add up to me.
Right.
So I asked her, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. Did they change staff or change how they decorated? Did they make any major renovations to the place lately? She said no. Now, this obviously was the first red flag.
Right.
But this is still the first date. We're just 20 minutes in, so I ignored it, and I continued our little date that we had going. Things, surprisingly, did get better. We started to talk about things we connected on, hobbies. We spoke for about an hour.
Okay.
Until I was like, hey, you know what? You want to get out of here and go get something to eat? She said, yeah, she's hungry. So I said, hey, I know of a good sushi place down the street. Would that be fine with you? She said, yeah. So I went, paid the bill for our drinks, and we left to go get the sushi. Now, keep in mind, on her Tinder profile, it says that she loves sushi. We also texted about our mutual love for sushi, so that's why I said sushi. I figured it would be the great place to go after drinks.
Wow.
We get there, and things are fine again up until about the 20-minute mark. She asked me, why did I bring her here? And I said, well, you said that you like sushi. We also talked about liking sushi.
Right.
So that's why I brought you here. She then said, you brought me here because I'm Asian.
Oh, nah, she's nuts, bro.
And I said, no, not at all. That is no correlation. I brought you here because you said that you love sushi in your bio, and we texted about liking sushi, so that's why we're here. And if anything, this is Japanese food. You're Vietnamese. That's two different cultures. She then said, since it's Asian, it's the same thing. We argued about it, and after that, I knew I was done with this woman. I knew I was completely done. We are not a match at all. And then she asked me about school. Now, I knew that we were both in university, but the matter of school didn't come up yet.
Right.
So when she asked me about the topic, of course, I answered. I let her know that I'm in my last year of undergraduate studies and I'm currently writing my thesis. She then asked me what was the thesis about. I told her it's basically about interdisciplinary studies of philosophy, law, with a little bit of technology, because I'm writing about one's self-presence online and the legality of self-identity.
Very interesting.
She then started laughing at me, saying that I made up the word interdisciplinary because she has never heard it.
Nah, she's got to go, bro.
No, I'll have a tea, actually.
She's drinking tea over there. She's got to go. 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 What would you guys do at this point?
I told her no. I didn't lie about that. That is a real word. And if you thought I was lying, you could have just Googled it. She then said that I was making up words trying to impress her. So I asked her, well, what are you going to school for? She said that she is a literature major and that she'll be graduating soon. So I'm not proud of it, It was a little bit sassy of me, I can't admit.
Right.
But I said, I'm surprised that you're a literature major with such a weak vocabulary. You're accusing me of making up a fake word and you don't even know it when your major is in literature? She then got mad at me and asked me, well, what am I planning to do after I graduate undergrad? I said, I'm probably going to law school. I'm going to law school. She then said how I was going to be broke and in debt and that once she graduates, she has an admin position ready at her father's company. So she's going to be making money while I'm going to be broken in debt.
There's no way, bro.
I got up from the table.
There's no way.
I went, paid my portion of the sushi.
Right.
And I left. I was already done with her.
Right.
That solidified. 5 minutes later, I get a text from her and she asks where I'm at. I said, I left. She then starts calling me, texting me, blowing me up. She texted and said, why did you leave and why didn't you pay my portion of the bill? I didn't bring any money, so I can't pay for it. I then told her, that's not my problem. I guess you're the broke one here. And then I blocked her.
Ooh.
Now, I'm home now.
Right.
And I'm wondering, am I the a-hole for ditching my date and leaving her with her portion of the bill?
Nope. Shout out to you.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Wow. Beautiful story. Beautiful ending. Beautiful ending. I'm sorry you had to go through all this. You know, it's tough out here. People just assume that because men don't get online and make videos like this, because if this was reversed, there'll be tears in his eyes. And I mean, if this was a chick who went through this, I just don't get how much longer I could, you know. But I appreciate the young man for coming on here, sharing this, his experience and the story. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. And I do not think that he is wrong in the least bit. I think he handled that great. I think he handled that great up until the point where he walked away, right? Let's check out a few comments here, see what the people have to say. First comment here reads, the second, you said Steph. I guess she's tripping because her name is Stephanie. Here's another person who says, interdisciplinary is a whole major. Interdisciplinary. Hope I'm saying that right. I think so. This next commenter says, I'm finishing up my master's and I've used the word interdisciplinary more times than I care to remember. The dating market is crazy. Part of what I think makes today's dating market interesting and why people like to watch is because most people are fed up. Most people are fed up. And I think it's becoming more common for people to leave dates and just like immediately decide, you know what, it's time for me to go. I've seen other videos of women who've pulled up to coffee shops and they've said as soon as the guy saw him, whether he just didn't like the way that she looked physically or he immediately knew, there's something about seeing someone in person that some people are able to just know right off the bat, I don't think this is going to work. Usually it's an attraction thing. But I think because dating has become so challenging today that more people are just willing to just walk away now more than ever. In the past, it would be very rude to do that. But if you've been dating and you've been in this dating market, you know that there's some really insufferable people out there. Some people are really unhinged. And you can understand why people aren't willing to sit there and sit through a dinner. That's why I like coffee. That's why I think more people should be okay with coffee date. That's why I like a coffee date, because it's low commitment. You can sit there, you can talk to somebody, and if things don't work out, you're not leaving some huge bill. It's not about the money, but you're not committed to sit down and eat the rest of a dinner with somebody who you just don't like. Imagine if he decided he wanted to sit down and listen to that chick more about how she thought he was going to be broke, the disrespect. Off that, she was out of pocket. From the very beginning, she was out of pocket. He showed mercy countless times. But, you know, there's that. What happened to the 4B movement? That's the question we're going to be asking today. The shortest movement in the history of mankind, right? From 4B to For the Streets is what I've seen recently. These women are doing the Cooking with Kaya challenge for men when they promised to be staunch feminists. And what they did is go back into the kitchen. Yo, shout out to my guy right here. He actually, I stumbled on his video and he made me remember because I forgot all about it. You know, came and went.
Bro, am I tripping? But what happened to the 4B movement? Whatever happened to the 4B movement? It ain't even been a week. That boat sunk before it even left the dock. Now these same chicks who was talking this 4B movement stuff went right back to panhandling. Went right back to begging men for money.
Right.
Went right back to being broke.
That's facts.
Man, that was the shortest movement ever, man. Wow.
Let's see. Let's check out some of his comments. First comment here says it's a different movement every 3 days. Right now they're cooking. Yeah, right now they're cooking with Kaya. The next comment here says cooking with Kaya. Somebody else here says Christmas is coming. They want those gifts. That's crazy to me because the way they were talking and the tears and the snot, you would think that somebody was going to see this thing through. Not the ones who've been doing the 4B movement for their whole lives, right? The ones who are like, oh, we're no longer sleeping with men, but you look like a man. You look like a man. We're talking about the chicks who were dead serious. Shoot, like, I think I've got a video here that I can reference to. Let me see. Maybe I can find somebody. Let's see here. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to see if I can find. Hold on. Here we go. See, we've got this lady right here who got over 100K views, who was talking about how she's now embracing the 4B movement, right? The 4 no's, no dating, no clapping cheeks. And I forgot the last 2. Has to do, no marriage, no children.
Now that the dust has settled, it's a couple of things that I want to say. Y'all, I think I'm ready to go full 4B. I'm ready to go full 4B movement.
And so the rest of this video is just her like talking about how full 4B movement, no longer dating men, complaining. She was mad. And then we go on her page, and what did we find? What can we find? Well, here she is, no less than 2 months later, going out on a date.
A couple of things that you as a man need to know if you're meeting me out for a date. If I show up in all black from head to toe, you're meeting an assassin, and your life is getting ready to be over.
The shortest date. The shortest date in history. I am going to say this chick's kind of funny. The last video I was dead. She was, and I think she runs like some sort of, like she does comedy on the side, but she was dead serious about the 4B stuff. But here she is, less than 2 months later, heading out on a date.
To be over with. You're meeting a trained assassin who's ready to kill by any means necessary. Unalive. And good luck. Good luck with the rest of your life after you've met her. If she's wearing pastels, a dress, maybe a baby doll dress, you're meeting the actress. You will meet the real her in 3 to 6 months, depending on how well you can handle things.
She's just doled up going on a date. So what does this say when it comes to emotional movements, right? When, in all honesty, we let chicks who are unhinged and are extreme feminists. Now, I don't know if she identifies as like a feminist, but, you know, emotional movements. 4B, just stealing something because you hear it sounds good. What happens? Led by emotion. Well, doesn't get far. Doesn't get far when you base your life, your relationships, your marriages on how you feel. Am I happy? And what you choose to support on just how you feel.
Consider yourself lucky, because the ones who meet the actress are going to be feeling like they're doing a really good job for quite a while, because she's determined that you're the right candidate for a con. It sounds bad when you say it like that, but
let me see. That's a relevant thing from here. Nah, just nothing. But yeah, man, like they vowed to not date, and they're out here dating. So what does that say? Moving on. You know what I've been seeing picking up in popularity is this topic about DL women. I did a video on this particular topic. We're going to get into what she has to say here in a second. But the last video I did about DL chicks had some really interesting comments from women who were thanking me for talking about the actual subject. I was more like a spectator looking in and interested. I was like, you know what? I've never seen anybody talk about DL. Because, you know, they'll talk about DL men as insults. Most times they're just talking shit. And just say, oh, he's probably down low, DL, because he does not promote my delusional standards, expectations, so on and so forth. Right? That's what we hear. over and over again. And for people who don't know that, that's pretty much a woman who's parading like she is straight, heterosexual, but on the low, she loves women. Let me see. I want to read some comments here from that video that I did a while back so you guys really see what I'm talking about.
Make you feel better.
Hold on. I'm going to bring it up on screen here because this actually surprised me. You know, I just thought I was just reporting on a, you know, video that I thought was interesting. So the original video had this chick talking about DL women. This is what she had to say about them, right?
Let's talk about these down low women.
Let's
Talk about the women that try to be your friend only to try to sleep with you. That don't get talked about enough. Like we talk about DL men all the time, but we don't talk about the women that try to be your friend and they get to know you. Y'all get to hanging out a little bit and they get to throwing their little stuff out there trying to see if you're going to catch it.
Is that what's going on out here, ladies? So for the rest of that video, she talks about how she's had multiple instances of women who were DL reach out to her for advances, you know, sexual advances. And these women, a lot of them were married. Some of them were just actually parading as being single and interested in men, but they just don't want, you know, they don't like the stigma that comes with being DL. And this was a really interesting video because I wasn't prepared for the amount of comments that I was going to get from women who are like, thank you for actually talking about this. This happens so much. Check out a few of these comments from these women here talking about this. Check this out.
I've been propositioned by 2 female coworkers. One was married and another was in a relationship. They out here fishing. It's because society has normalized demonic and perverse behaviors.
Okay, there's her. And if you just look through this comment section, you have other women telling their stories. Check it out.
Facts. I had a supervisor like that. Was making unwanted advances and I checked her. Clearly let her know I wasn't interested. Shortly after that, problems on the job. I even changed my shift not to be around her. Then one of my CO workers was hospitalized and I had to work with her every day. I start getting physically ill, not wanting to go to work. It was a lot. I was still in my 20s at the time, not knowing what to do. I should have filed a sexual lawsuit.
And it's not surprising to hear that people are morally reluctant to charge women of SA when it comes to this particular situation, right? They probably feel more at liberty as women to hit on other women on jobs. Again, these are other women sharing their stories because people look, oh, why are you pushing? No. Here they are. Here's somebody else.
Yes, I literally had to tell a woman yesterday we can be friends, but I'm not bisexual. Haven't heard from her since.
Cut her off because she told her she just wants to be friends and she wanted more, right? Insane. Somebody else here, another chick.
Yes, this is exactly why I cannot have a lot of women friends. Because every time I try to make friends, they try to mess with me or touch me inappropriately, and then when I tell them to stop, they wouldn't act like they're offended and they don't respect my boundaries. It's ridiculous.
That's pretty crazy. Are you guys seeing this? It was like comment after comment. Here's another one. Right? It was like comment after comment.
This is why I don't have any female friends. I'm glad somebody finally aired it out.
Another one.
She's telling the truth. I've had a few so-called friends come on to me, and it ruined our friendship. Seems like nowadays sex is the #1 priority. It's sad out here for low vibrational.
There's more. But I think the main point I'm trying to make here is this topic is definitely something that more women wish was talked about and should be presented as a problem. Why? Because they feel harassed, in their words, and they don't think that people take it seriously enough. Somebody else here, another woman.
You know what? That's crazy because as I watched this video, I have gotten some friend requests from random women I don't even know. Never accepted any of them because I choose not to have any female. However, when you don't know Jesus Christ, you are subject to live any kind of way.
Let me see. See if we have any more here. It's downright disrespectful, this chick says. Somebody else here says, oh, wow. Nope, not in my circle. Okay. So there we go. We have a woman who has not experienced this. Sis on point with the 100 emoji right there. What else do we have? I've lost every friend. I mean, okay. Let's not be extreme here. If every female friend who's hitting on you is DL, I think that there's something wrong there, right? What do you guys think? We can't get too extreme. It's just like if a guy came up to me and said, every male friend I have has hit on me. I'll be like, are you serious? Are you're being honest about that? And they said, yeah, man, I just can't have male friends. They end up hitting on me. I'd be curious to know the type of people they like to keep themselves around. I want to be careful to not be too extreme about this. And so I'm not like taken away from the validity of the topic here, that this is something that a lot of these chicks wish more people talked about. Here's another chick.
If only you men knew. This is a global thing. Half the time it starts at some of these Sweet 16, unfortunately. High school, girls' parties, college dorms, etc.
This chick says it's global, that it's global. It's a global pandemic. Another chick here.
Yeah, I've been through it a lot this year. Dodged so many bullets.
Damn, they're dodging bullets, right? From these DL women. Guys, endless comment after comment of woman sharing her experience with dealing with is very aggressive. They're very aggressive is what I hear. Right? They don't give you an inch. They're very aggressive women.
I had this happen a few times this year. They can even be in a relationship or open flings and want you to join. I had to leave all those types of women alone once I started realizing what they were after. It's always about sex with them and getting you vulnerable.
Wow. Yep. Yeah, man. I think, again, the quickness at which a lot of chicks will use the insult, because it's typically an insult to men. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you are. If they don't like you, you could be married. If they disagree with you, you're probably gay. Especially if you're a man who embraces your masculinity and you don't like the extreme, aggressive, boss babe, feminist, empowering that usually takes away from a man's place in this world mindset. Then they're calling you all types of stuff that if you love masculinity so much, then why don't you just go be with the man, right? Then come the insults and the ridiculousness. But there's this other chick who had more to say about this particular topic. Check it out. It gets deep.
Oftentimes when I'm on this app, I'm always seeing conversations.
Let's take it back a little bit. I want to make sure we hear every word.
Oftentimes when I'm on this app, I'm always seeing conversations around DL men.
Right.
And I often do not hear about DL women because they do exist. And I want to talk about it. A DL woman or a down low woman engages with other women, but they like to keep it very hush hush. A lot of these women are married and they are in relationships with men. Also, a lot of these women come from conservative or very religious background. A lot of them are deep in the church and they do not want to disappoint their families when it comes to what they actually want, which is other women. They usually have a ton of internalized shame and they fear being judged, rejected, or discarded. They not only feel the pressure from society, but they feel the pressure from their families to have children and to marry men.
So I guess if you take the current situation we're in right now within the dating market, it makes sense that if someone's going to be hiding, then they're going to be hiding in a place where you wouldn't expect them to be, aka a marriage, aka masquerading as someone who has more traditional values, so on and so forth. And I think that a lot of chicks don't mind insulting men and calling them gay or DL, even if they choose to support and embrace that, just because they know how that makes a man feel or how it has people looking at them within a negative light. A few different comments here. This commenter says our aunties and grandmas and sometimes our mothers. Here's another comment that says, I was once a DL woman. That's interesting. That's like a dude telling you he was once a DL man. What do you guys think of that? Somebody else here added, I was so agitated when I figured out my grandma's homegirl was her sneaky link. Whoa. Whitney Houston, is this person commented there. I don't know enough about Whitney Houston's personal life to know if that has any validity to it at all. Please let me know in the comment section. Here's somebody else who says, because they are DL women, but I feel they're more closeted and experiencing confet rather than taking advantage. Here's somebody else who says, my mama, what's confet? We're learning all types of words today.
Confit is an abbreviation for compulsory heterosexuality, a concept introduced by feminist poet Adrienne Rich in her 1980 essay, Compulsory Heterosexuality.
We've heard enough. Makes sense. why we don't know what that is. Here's somebody else that says, my mama child, she didn't tell me when I came out as gay, but found out recently she be sneaking and geeking. Seems like there's some connection there, right? If your parents were dabbling in who knows what, can that pass on to the children? Somebody else here says, facts. I see a lot in the Caribbean community, and I'm a Caribbean myself. Here's somebody else who says, why do I actually like it? I'm bi and I like straight women as well. You're bi, but you like straight women as well. Confusion. What do you guys think of this actual topic? Of course, let me know. Moving on. Here is Dr. Umar. We're going to be addressing the most recent topic that keeps circulating. I've seen it everywhere, concerning the young, very talented Travis Hunter. Dr. Umar had this to say about his particular situation. Let's check it out.
Dr. Umar said Travis Hunter is a goddamn fool to be dating and engaged to a woman who sat right in his face and told him that he was not her type.
Said when she said that Travis Hunter wasn't really her type. So to your point, Art, what you just said, she said she wasn't really attracted to him at first. What is that telling you? Is that not the writing on the wall? The woman went so far as to tell people she was not attracted to you. So why is she with you? The same reason everybody else's white wife is with them, for money and status, And for him to hear her say that and stay with her, I'm very disappointed. But again, I got faith in a young brother. I like him. He's good spirited, good energy. Doesn't seem like he got a whole lot of political education, but a lot of our black athletes don't, right? They've been surrounded by white folks their whole life and black people who ain't thinking about teaching them about who they are, only trying to maximize their profit for the power structure in the sports entertainment industry. I just hope somebody wakes Travis Hunter up. I'm tired of seeing this play out over and over again. He is too young to be settling down with a girl he just dated in college, who, as you said, claimed that she was never her type in the first place.
Travis Hunter and his fiance?
Yes, I have. And I saw that comedian Godfrey had responded to the news that Travis Hunter was engaged and that it had been purported that his fiance had stated that he originally was not her type, but that he had, and I'm paraphrasing here, he had since that time won her over. And with them being engaged, it appears that marriage will be coming at some point in the future, and there didn't seem to be any conversation surrounding a prenuptial agreement. There had been rumors that Coach Prime, Deion Sanders,
hold on, I want to hear what he had to say about the prenuptial agreement.
Surrounding a prenuptial agreement.
Hold on.
Them being engaged, it appears that marriage will be coming at some point in the future.
It's not even some point in the future. I think he had like a date. He had a date. He has a date selected for the actual marriage. He was on a podcast, I think it was May 1st or something like that. And he has an actual date for the actual wedding. Let me see if I can find it here. I think it's best I bring this up because that shocked me, seeing that Travis Hunter actually had a date for his wedding. And you guys know my stance when it comes to these topics is depending on what you value. And you get to decide what you value in this life. All I ask any man is to make sure that they head into any situation, especially in marriage, understanding the gravity of the situation and protecting yourself from a legal perspective within that marriage. As a married man myself, that's what I want for other men. And I had somebody who asked, Chisha, do you have a prenup? Now, why would I sit here and tell you to do something that I wouldn't do, right? If you head over to fathershaverights.com, I have a whole introduction there where I share with you the reason I put together the #1 guide to drafting a legally binding prenup is because it's something I wish I had, because I had to do the work and figure out where do you start? How do you find an attorney? How do you make sure that a prenup is solid and legally binding? And I wish I had that when I was going through the same thing. But anyways, I know people are used to people living exact opposite lives to what, they're telling or preaching. They'll say things like, I'm going to build a school, right? It doesn't happen. Here's the video I was talking about. Check it out.
Are you excited about the wedding?
Yes, bro. Well, I'm just ready to go eat, dance, do my thing. That's it.
When
hang
you
out
get
with
married?
the guys, hang out with the family. May 24th next year, bro.
Oh, you already got a date?
Yes, bro. Right after a rookie minicamp.
It's May 24th.
Yeah.
Damn.
Bro, yes, we got a date.
Where's it gonna be at?
Yo, my man looks disappointed. This wasn't granted, bro. Like the comedy in men announcing that they're gonna get married, regardless of their situation. Women celebrate more than men celebrate, or even younger guys, because the younger guys have heard from the older guys what marriage is like and the realities and how brutal it can be when things go south. And what happens to a lot of men, to unfortunately the majority of men, which is why, again, you have to protect yourself as much as humanly possible if that's a risk you're willing to take for your life.
Where is it gonna be at?
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
So why'd you pick Chattanooga, Tennessee out of everything?
A good venue, bro. She want to have a good venue.
Are you excited?
That's another thing I heard. Somebody was saying something about how they picked Tennessee because they don't uphold prenups. It's not true. It's not true. And you know what? Miss Coffee, we're just going to, because Miss Coffee, does Tennessee uphold prenuptial agreements when they're drafted correctly?
In Tennessee, prenuptial agreements are legally recognized and enforceable, provided they meet specific criteria outlined in state law. According to Tennessee Code 36-3-501.
Okay, so we don't need to hear all the codes, but if you're finding somebody who knows how to draft a prenuptial agreement, you want to make sure you find someone who drafts prenuptial agreements, like they do that consistently, right? A family law attorney who has experience, and they will know how to draft one that's solid and legally binding. They will know how to make sure that it's solid and it's very, very, very difficult to challenge in court. In my last video, I showed you guys how Travis Hunter's coach, Deion Sanders, his assets and his life were saved because the courts upheld his prenuptial agreement. Let's head back to Dr. Umar here.
Dr. Umar said Travis
Hear what
Hunter
he has
is
to
a
say.
goddamn fool to
Yo,
be.
she is loud though. Somebody said that in my last video. Why does she have to yell? I don't know. Maybe just a personality thing.
And there didn't seem to be any conversation surrounding a prenuptial agreement. There had been rumors that Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, had tried to communicate with Travis Hunter that you might just want to slow down a little bit, not to say that she's not a nice lady, not to say she's not the one, but you're moving kind of fast. I mean, I'm saying now, to be the number one football player in the country or number two, depending on how you rank him and Shedeur Sanders. And by the way, both of them are my two favorite college football players and will probably be my two favorite NFL players if they don't start bunny hopping. But anyhow, you have not played an NFL game. You have not even been through the NFL draft. You have no idea of the type of women you're going to meet whenever you get to whatever team that you're going to play for. He's still a child. You've only been in Boulder, Colorado, and you've been in Jackson, Mississippi. Why not give yourself some time to explore life before you just jump the hoop with this woman, and I'm not going to say nothing against the young lady. She might be a nice young lady. Obviously, I have issues with it because I believe black men should be married to black women. And this looks like it's going to be another tragic tale of another multi-million-dollar black athlete who sooner or later is going to get divorced and his non-black wife is going to run off with all of his career earnings, as we've seen with so many other athletes and continue to see on a regular basis. So I'm not for it at all. But again,
and he's speaking facts from a probability perspective, which is a lot of why I never tell men to get married or not to get married. There are men on here who message me. I get emails saying, you should be encouraging men to marry. It's the right thing for them to do. I don't believe that. I don't believe that if you don't get married as a man, that you're somehow a bad person or that your value is taken away. I don't believe that with women. If a woman decides, hey, marriage is not for me, cool. I look at situations when it comes to marriage, when I'm usually applying my commentary from how realistic are you seeing and taking consideration what the current dynamics are within the dating market. I've always said it is up to you once you've assessed things to say, all right, I do want to take this risk. Maybe you're like myself and your goal is to provide a 2-parent household for your future children. Then you may think that it's worth it, right? My parents, they've been married 30 plus years. My grandparents, both sides, married 40, 50 plus years. There's nobody in my family as far as like grandparents, great grandparents that, didn't die without a wife. They were all in very long lasting marriages. Granted, they're from a different culture and time. But I've understood that I can't make or encourage that decision for anybody. And every man has to make this decision for themselves. Now, I do discourage picking a woman who's going to decrease the chances of you having a successful marriage. And there are some rumors. I don't know how true this is. There are some rumors that Travis Hunter's things that I want to call these rumors, but I've seen the receipts, bro. I've seen the receipts. I think I'll say allegedly. I'm going to say that about this whole situation because here we have a very passionate man who's like, hey, you don't know her like hey, we don't want any problems over here. I see myself in this young man. I was once drinking the Kool-Aid, right? And was not drinking coffee. I didn't want that.
Put that coffee down.
I understand what it's like to see a woman and think that she can never hurt you and it's happily ever after, believing a fairy tale and nothing could ever go wrong. I get it. We've all been there, and some people have to learn the hard way. But there's this video I want to show you guys real quick. Shout out to House of Hypocrites for providing this information. Again, allegedly. Let's check this out. The video's titled, Travis Hunter's Girlfriend Exposed as a Stripper. If this is true, my very strong advice would be that he does not marry this woman if marriage is something that he values. In the beginning, I just said, hey, bro, get a prenuptial agreement, please. But with this knowledge right here, if this right here is true, this is horrible. This is horrible. Check it out.
Used to be
Let's go from the beginning here.
Man, I really don't think this information is supposed to be out here, but I gotta do it. Hey, what if I told you Travis Hunter, soon-to-be wife, Liana De La Fuente, used to be a stripper out in Atlanta, Georgia?
Hold on. Dude looks familiar, bro. Is this the guy from Anton Daniels? Hold on. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah, this is, okay. Yeah, this is the same dude. Okay. If you guys remember, he had like a situation in the past. Doesn't matter. Let's keep going.
And I got proof. Would you watch this whole video? So the last video I had made about them, basically I was criticizing her actions and was trying to figure out why did she, ghost him for 2 months and then double back at the end of his high.
All right, I want to skip to where we hear about her being a stripper. That's what
you feel me? So she doubled back and planted herself. I'm not that I get too many comments, you feel me? So I go in my comments and I see this.
So it says this girl used to dance. I can know my alarm going off there. It says this girl used to dance at the Cheetah Gentlemen's Club in Atlanta. Cheetah Gentlemen's Club in Atlanta. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Now, some comments that just be BS, you feel me? And you just don't pay no attention to. But this one was just too detailed and like just seemed accurate on why somebody would just randomly say this girl worked at a gentleman's club in Atlanta. You feel me? So I told bro to DM me. Bro DM me. And then he sent me her phone number. Now, I'm on the phone with my cousin. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm doing the story, yada, yada, yada. Well, Gab might be, you know what I'm saying, one of them things. One of them, yeah, she was getting down in Atlanta in one of them clubs type shit. He was like, bro, if you want to figure out if the number real, put the number in Cash App. Boom, put the number in Cash App.
What?
This is her exact number. I almost FaceTime to be like, you feel me? Just to get it like, you feel me? Oh yeah, this just got interesting, man. As I'm writing and editing the video, I went to go check the goddamn Cash App using the number and the name popped up. Then I said, I just seen this same name on my Instagram looking at my stories. Too much coincidence. I sent you the text message saying, hey, yada, yada, yada. Do you want to leave a statement? And I strategically sent it.
Okay, it says, hey, I was contacted by someone that sent me your information and evidence of you being an ex-dancer at a gentleman's club named cheetah in Atlanta some years back. I'm reaching out to get a statement. And so he wanted a statement before he released the video.
The image with my YouTube stamp on there and Instagram, just so you can come find me. You can't find me with your burner account. You had a chance to be like, hey, this ain't true. Or you had the chance to just leave it alone and let a story be a story. But I might have up and let you get ahead of it so you can now tell your fiance, which should be cool. But you want to see what I know and what I have. I ain't gonna release everything, but this just got interesting. Back to the video. Damn near FaceTiming her, but after that, I'm telling bro, hey, send me more information. So bro sent me a whole catalog of each goddamn Instagram and phone number that worked at Cheetahs, and I'm going on that.
Wow. Again, if she was an ex-stripper, how many times have we seen that story play over and over and over again? How many times? How many times? We all know the Kanye line of, I think it's like, that I found the love of my life in the strip club, but F it, I was wrong though. Then you have other artists who recycled that same thing because they all fell into the same trap. What is it about successful men and falling in love with strippers? What is it? I just don't understand.
Verifying it, you feel me? Just so I can cross-reference. But another thing, I had to tie her to Atlanta, so shit, I just went on Twitter, went on Facebook, just you know what I'm saying? Boom. She posting about, okay, I'm in Atlanta. You feel me? Shit kind of adding up. And another thing, man, so when I'm going through a Twitter, I'm noticing that she scrubbed, you know what I'm saying, and deleted a lot of tweets. You feel me? From that 2020, 21, late 21, you feel era.
That's smart. That's pretty smart. She's moving clever and smart. Why? Because she's not letting anything get between her and the bag. Do you think this chick wants the world to know that she was an ex-stripper? Granted, here's the bad news. And I think most of you are going to actually agree with me. Based on how lost in love that Travis Hunter looks like he is, I'm led to believe that he knows and he doesn't care. That's what I believe. I think that he may be embarrassed that other people know. But the young man is so far gone that I am sure he does not care. So this is the alleged story. I'm not sure if it's actually true or not. You guys can go watch the rest of that video. Shout out to House of Hypocrites right there. And at this point, with everything we know, you can't really convince somebody who's this far gone to leave a woman. They have to feel that pain. They have to get hurt. Because if he's anything like I was, then he's not going to listen. He's not going to listen to you. He's not going to listen to you. He's not going to listen to me. He's definitely not going to listen to his father. Yes, I was hard-headed. Young men, especially young men who can focus like he focuses, tend to be the type of people who have to learn the hard way. Now, what do you hope? You hope that in your journey to learning about this life and how to limit the amount of pain and suffering, you hope that the consequences aren't too severe. What don't we want? We don't want any babies. We want limited trauma. Because, you know, the villain arc here could go really bad. As in now you turn into Future with a football jersey and you just out here to get revenge. Because in the end, you end up losing in the long run. A lot of people celebrate that. At the end of the day, you're stuck paying child support for whatever it costs, right? What's the cost for raising up a child today from 0 to 18 years old? I think it's like $300K or something like that. You're going to come for those pockets fast, not slow. And this is why I say, head over to fathershaverights.com, Travis Hunter. And any man who may be watching this and thinking, that's not me, my girl is different, or my situation is different. It has nothing to do with different or not. You can't predict the future. You don't know. And a prenuptial agreement, in the case, because people think that, oh, this is just going to benefit him. No, there'll be benefit to her. That's not what it's about. It's not about making sure somebody else doesn't get anything whatsoever, that they're left in the dust, alone, destitute. No, it's about limiting your losses. It's about not having lawyers feasting on your pockets because they're able to find other places where they could take money from and suck money out of you, which is what happens in a lot of cases. Should we go back and listen to what else Dr. Umar has to say? I disagree with what Dr. Umar had to say about why most white women are with black men. I think it's ridiculous to
No
assume that they're all there for status and to just drain their pockets. I don't know. I don't agree with the exclusive racial dating or telling people who to date, as you guys know.
For him to be about to get married and he doesn't even have a prenuptial agreement, are you out of your mind, Travis Hunter? No disrespect to the young brother. I'm a fan, but bruh, slow this down. Put the marriage on ice. Need him to put that marriage on ice for about 2 or 3 years and don't have any children out of wedlock while that marriage is on ice. My fear, Art, is he's going to run into the queen of his dreams.
See, my thing is like, Dr. Umar can say that, man. But doesn't he have like 4 baby mamas?
And it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. You know, so I just think the brother moving too fast. So many of our black athletes, they run into these non-black women in college, you know, and they just think that that's what their life is all about. You know, she's the best thing since sliced bread, not to demean any woman of any culture, but we should be with our own women. And one thing I appreciate about Deion Sanders, although I'm still not happy with the move he made to Colorado, making all that money for a predominantly white college that does nothing for black people. But nonetheless, one thing I do respect about Coach Prime, you don't see his sons doing that. You don't see Shador and the other brother, the cornerback or the safety, the other Sanders, what's his name?
Shallow
Sanders. Shout out to Shallow. Forgive me for forgetting your name there, young prince. But you don't see Shador and Shallow being all booed up with no girl in college. You notice that? You always see them by themselves. You don't see them. I've never seen any photo of either one of them, Shador or Shallow, booed up with any girl, black or white, in college because they father not having it. Deion Sanders knows how this goes. He knows how women will try to hitch their cart to your wagon. You know, he knows how this goes. And I think he had a sit down with Shiloh and Shador and said, listen, y'all can have all the fun y'all want. You better be protecting yourself and you better not be getting booed up with no woman. You built this. We built this. If you're going to choose a woman, you're going to choose her with this head, not the other one. And so I appreciate Deion Sanders for not allowing his sons to fall into the same trap that it appears Travis Hunter has fallen into. You know, it's such a shame, so unfortunate to be that great and to still be a victim of the snow bunny crisis. It's just ridiculous. Now, some people are saying she's mixed race. Some people are saying she got a black mom, black dad, but that doesn't mean anything to me because, as you know, although I consider mixed race Africans to be black, as long as they identify full time, I have seen no evidence that Travis Hunter's girlfriend has ever identified as a black woman, ever. So even if she's biologically African and has a black parent, for me and most Pan-Africanists, you have to not only be biologically black, you have to be psychologically black. And I haven't seen any proof at all that Travis Hunter's girlfriend identifies as a black woman. But again, no disrespect to
psychologically black. Oh man. You know, one thing I will give Dr. Umar credit for is he's really like his verbal judo. You know, he has an ability to really speak in a way that's not only entertaining and funny, but also can convey his point fairly well.
To her, this is no hate to her. All we saying is we want to keep black money in the black community and we want to keep black celebrities with our own black women. It's just a self-love thing. It has nothing to do with hate. And I just hope the brother wakes up and realizes what's going on before she takes half of what he's about to earn.
And guys, I'm curious to know about this. Would the majority of black people, if we look at this, would you look at that if that was a white man saying that right there? Would you see nothing wrong with it? Would you see it as self-love? I think that the people who are agreeing that it's a self-love thing, they wouldn't see it as self-love the other way around. Moving on, let me give a bit of context here because this is crazy. When I heard this, I said, okay, so they're losing it. You didn't think they could lose it more, but they've lost it even more. So we have a woman here who goes by the name Uche, and she was on the Pop the Balloon show. All the men popped the balloons. Immediately they heard her voice. Why? Because it sounded like mine. Yes. It was podcast worthy. She might have a career in podcasting. Besides the funny stuff, the situation was interesting because a lot of the guys were like, hey, you're beautiful, you're attractive, but they just couldn't get down with the voice, right? It was too deep. And there've been a lot of conversations surrounding this particular topic where some people are saying, you know, they were probably afraid that she was trans and that's why they popped it. When I first was reacting to the video, the original video, I wasn't sure. And I was looking at her face. I was like, yeah, this is like, if she is trans, then this is the best job I've ever seen executed on this planet, hands down. I went to her Instagram page. I checked that out. And I was like, this is not a bad looking woman at all. There's no way that this woman is a biological male. This is just not. You know, you can tell. I'm in LA. I see it all the time, bro. It's easy to spot when they get close enough. You look at the hands, you look at the face. I was like, nah, this is a woman from what I can see. But here's what other women had to say in response to this. I'm going to play a little bit of this so you guys can kind of understand if you haven't seen this video.
What's your name?
My name is Uche.
Uche, how old are you?
I'm 23.
So there goes. She's like 23, fairly young as well. And here's what this chick had to say about this particular comment when it came to the Uche chick. And this blew my mind. And I think she's African. It's an African name. Let's check it out.
The recent Pop the Balloon episode with Uche and everybody popping their balloon because they said that her voice is too deep. Oh my God. Men really just, they want children. That's what they want. They want children. They want a woman that got stagnant at puberty. That's what they want. And this is how I know that they really want to date kids, because I think about when I used.
What? You notice her comments there. Above that, it says 4,532 delusional feminist woke women who liked this and agreed. I liked it too, just so I could address it and talk shit. So -1. And then below it, it says 0 comments because she turned off the comments. Men want children, and that's why they don't like low-pitched voices? Come on now.
I used to date men back in, like, you know, high school or middle school, and a lot of those girls, I was one of them, because we played into the patriarchy. I didn't know no better. Whenever you get on the phone with a man, you would literally make your voice dainty and small to resemble what? A child. And
bro, I need some more coffee, man. I'm running out. This is insane.
They would love that because it sounded cute. Sick people.
This right here is why you cannot leave your children within the guidance and counsel of one of these woke feminist chicks. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. When you have an immigrant woman, whether she comes from like a Asian country, African country, because I've said this a lot about African chicks, you either get a really great woman who embraces her cultural upbringing and understands the beauty of her feminine attributes and also what a man brings to the table, or you get the worst version of a feminist that you've ever seen. I'm talking worse than what you see here in the States. They take it a step further because they come from a society that respects men simply for what's between their legs. Now, you may think that's a good thing. I disagree, right? I think there's a level of competence that has to be associated with respect when it comes to picking a man, family structure, so on and so forth. Yes, but she's sitting there and she's thinking about how she used to talk to men on the phone and sound dainty and make her voice sound small, more feminine and not so deep. And she's saying that's because men like children, really? And so what about if we reverse it? Because I remember those days. I remember getting on the phone. What did I do? I used to try and make my voice sound deeper. I used to try to make my voice sound deep. Before I was 18, 21, before I was an adult. Does that mean that those younger girls want old men and that's what they're attracted to? Come on, that's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And somebody commented on her post and they said this, right? I'm going to read this comment to you so you guys can see how unhinged. You got to be careful, man. Don't go out here, lack sexual discipline, find yourself a chick like this, get her pregnant, and now there goes your seed being raised by one of these feminist chicks. You're going to lose it. You're going to lose it. They're going to have a failed starting point. So the comment she was responding to here says, I think they were scared if she was trans or not. Men really be scared. And here's what she had to say.
Surprise, surprise. Girl, these men have you so fooled. Men are not scared of trans women. Men are just scared of being attracted to trans women when other men are present. Wake up. Wake up. They're not scared of trans women. They're scared of when they are openly attracted to trans women when other men are present. Because you know why? They care about what other men think. And if they care about what other men like. What other men like gives them permission on what they can like out loud. I don't know no man that's scared of a trans woman. None of them. They scared they're gonna get turned on by a trans woman in the midst of other men. Now check that. Y'all gotta wake up, child. Please, and stop.
It's just insanity, bro. That's just insane. So in secret, most men are just attracted to trans women. That's what she's trying to say. Or is it the fact that they're on the dating apps and they see these women sometimes and they're using face filters and tweaking their faces and skin to look like women, and they have to be extra careful? There's this thing, and you guys know, is that like, yes, a guy doesn't want to be like, oh, how about her? And like, oh, I think that's a dude. And then the guys there laugh at him. And if he's not, it's just fun. I can't believe we're out here explaining this. If he's not somebody who is attracted to trans people, of course he's going to sit there and be embarrassed. He's allowed to not be attracted to trans people. And yes, a lot of transitioners really do their best and find satisfaction. We've seen this plenty of times in tricking some of these men who would otherwise not be attracted to them. That's why you hear all the horrible stories. And then people encouraging them saying, hey, you want to be as honest as possible when you're out here dating, especially online, when you can really edit the photos and then you meet people in person. And now you're on TikTok crying, saying, oh, I can't believe it. You know, let's see. I just thought that was insane. We're going to move on here. We're going to move on. I'm going to touch on something here. This is a good topic.
As much as I think that I'm ready to get out these streets and find my husband, I think the biggest adjustment for me is going to be allowing a man to be a man in my life, because if I say I want something or if I say I need something done, I'm only going to give you one opportunity to get it done before I just do it myself.
I have to hear one thing she said in the beginning. Hold on.
As much as I think that I'm ready to get out these streets and find my husband, I think the biggest adjustment for me is going to be allowing a man to be a man in my life. Because if I say I want something,
you're not ready. If you're not ready to allow a man to be a man in your life, and you're not ready, avoid chicks like this at all costs.
Or if I say I need something done, I'm only going to give you one opportunity to get it done before I just do it myself. And I know that's like a bad thing, but like I need somebody to put some pep in their step behind me. Okay, if I need something done, especially if it's like something kind of urgent, I don't want you to be laxy-daisy about it. If you're going to do it, I need you to do it. If you're not going to do it, let me know so I can do it. Okay? I honestly don't know if that's a good or a bad way to look at it, but
it's a bad way to look at it. Gentlemen, please be careful. If you are a man who still values marriage in today's modern day and plan to get married, please be careful to avoid chicks with this mentality at all costs.
Don't offer to do something for me if you're not going to do it when I need you to do it. You know, you can't just offer to do something for me and then just do whenever you feel like doing it. I don't know. Am I wrong for that? I know for a fact that I overthink every single thing. So sometimes my perspective on certain things in a relationship can come from a jaded place, and I'm trying to do better. So let me know. So let me know.
Yeah. You know, the mindset of thinking that you can really just turn it on, that, you know, when you decide, boom, okay, time to be a wife, there is a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done. And there's a follow-up video here from another wife who I'm just going to let her brew. We're just going to let her brew and address this situation. Let's check it out. We'll let a wife speak, what they call a pick-me.
If you can't submit to your husband, ask yourself if you got married for a wedding and for an aesthetic and so that your shame could be removed and so that you don't look like nobody wants you, or if you actually wanted to be married to someone, if you actually wanted to become one with that man, if you actually wanted to come under his leadership and headship. This is like so profound, but we skip right over it. And I think one of the reasons that we have such combative natures in our marriage as women, and I'm saying we because I've been there, girl. We like to be argumentative. We don't want to be submitted. We don't want to be obedient. This man can't tell me nothing. But it's like, well, if you felt that way about him and if you had no intention of coming under his headship and being protected by him and being led and guided by him, not controlled necessarily, but there is an aspect of control that goes into it, because if a man cannot control his home, he cannot protect it. If he cannot control his woman, he cannot protect her. Going back to the example that I gave about, if your husband told you to change your clothes, would you change? And I was like, you actually should. Because what we have to understand is, and there were some men that were like, oh, I want my woman to look sexy. That man does not love you if he wants you to go out exposed so that he can look good to other people. I'm going to say the thing that nobody wants to say. No God-fearing man who honors and respects his wife needs his wife to be going out half naked so that he can get approval from other people. What I'm not saying is if you walk out with your wife and people compliment you because your wife is beautiful and she puts herself together well, that's problematic, because it's not. And some of the women some of the wives, you're going to look beautiful no matter what you put on. You're going to be attractive no matter what you put on. No matter how much you try to hide your body is going to show in some regard. But what I'm saying is, as a woman, if you go out with everything on display and your husband is like, yeah, I don't know if that man loves you, but you can take that up with God in prayer.
So I'm gonna disagree with that. There are men who are married who may have a different degree of expectation of dress, right? Me and this other man may agree, like, you know what? I don't want my girl out there exposed so that other people can enjoy her body. I may say, I don't mind a little bit of cleavage. And he may say, I don't mind cleavage. And on top of that, I don't care if she goes out with, like, there's this thing in LA where chicks would just go out with like bras on, like literally. To me, that's insane. To me, I think that like defeats the purpose. He may say, well, actually, I don't mind the cleavage either. In fact, I don't mind the extreme showing of like cleavage. I think like at what degree depends on the man that you're with and what you guys value and what you're okay with. If you identify as a Christian, well, then that's going to change. If you identify as non-Christian, well, then you're obviously going to have different values than that. And I don't think that that husband necessarily doesn't love his wife because we disagree when it comes to that value. No, and I think Christians are really quick to jump to those type of perspectives and stances on things. And then he can change his mind later.
But my point is, are we to a point where we are only looking at marriage as a means to save ourselves from looking like nobody wants us, looking like we didn't get chosen? Because it's so much more than just a wedding. It's so much more than just a ceremony. It's so much more than just being like, oh, I got a man, somebody loves me. And unfortunately, what I notice is when we have these conversations and women, not just single women, but married women are combative against some of the things that I say, I question whether or not you trust your husband. I question whether or not you truly do love him. And I question what your actual intentions are in your marriage. If you feel that you don't have to be submitted, if you feel that there's not some element of compromise that comes with marriage, if you feel like to some degree your husband cannot direct and guide you, he can't tell you nothing. Girl.
The truth is, a lot of married chicks today run their households. You know, there's a growing amount of married chicks today who run their households. And you've got to ask yourself, is that contributing to the divorce rates? And you've got to ask yourself, what type of marriage do I want for myself? And that's definitely not the type of marriage I would encourage men to get into. Obviously, I believe men have a God-given role to take on the leadership within that household, right? What else do we have here? Let's see. Advice from Sexy Red and Summer Walker. Dating advice from these two.
Niggas gonna cheat. They gonna do that. That's
why I said it's a wrong. This is actually the two wrong people to ask, because I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to send these young girls down this path. What?
It's two different.
It's too late. Talking about I don't want to send them down this path. when you're encouraging it in your music.
Different paths they could take. I'm gonna tell them the two paths. I'm gonna let Summer go.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go.
Well,
give her the advice. Summer.
I mean,
what you
because
think?
people shouldn't be accepting that, but you are right. Like literally 2 times is nothing. But friend, we can't sound like this. We have to work on ourselves and accept better.
But if you get with the next dude, they gonna cheat too. And it's like, I should have just stayed with my last cheater.
I totally agree with you. They're all off, and there's like, they all act like that. But, but there's some people, that's why I never say it, because there's some people who genuinely feel like there's some men who don't cheat. And they'll argue you down about that, and then they'll make it be like, oh, y'all just with them niggas that be cheating.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't say nothing. But no, babe, they're all cheating. So I say go back to, like, what the fuck?
Nah, if it was like some real, like if he crossed the line with who he cheated with, that's different. But if it's some shit you can get over.
Did he your mom?
Or a friend or somebody do your hair, like.
No, friend, we can't sound like this. Go back. Don't go back. Have self-respect.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Go find another man. All men aren't cheaters. Girl, take that man back. It's okay.
We will not take dating advice from 304, but maybe modern women will. Right. Maybe they will. Which is crazy that I'm saying this because in all honesty, see, the problem with this is like people hate nuance. They do not like having real conversations about the nuance, right? You heard the extreme perspective that they both have. The extreme perspective they both have is all men cheat, which I don't believe that. That's definitely not true. There are men who haven't cheated. But I would agree with the fact that if you can work through a non-chronic cheating situation with a man, because I've told you guys plenty of times that I think that there are a lot of married women out here who divorce men who cheated, and I believe that if you can work through it, which is a controversial thing, people hate it when I say that, but I really do believe that. If you can work through it, you should. Now, what people hear is you're telling people to cheat. That's not what I'm saying. I'm also not saying what they're saying, which is that all men cheat. No. There are women out here who've cheated and their husbands have worked things through. There are men out there who would never do that. I think you should know yourself, but the mindset that a lot of people go into relationships with is thinking they will never cheat. You don't know. I will never cheat. I think that the conversation you should have with yourself and your significant other is what would happen? How would you respond if such and such situation happened? Everything from I went broke, lost my job, right? People don't talk about this. They just get together and they assume that, oh, if you went broke as a man, she wouldn't leave. And they think, oh, it's all about love and she's going to sleep with you in the car until you guys figure it out. Then what they end up finding out, statistically, men losing their jobs really quickens the rate that women file for divorce and end up leaving their man. And you have to talk about these things. Now, that's not what they're saying. They're saying forgive cheating because every man cheats and just accept that men are just cheaters and they're never going to change. That type of mindset explains why Summer Walker has a song called Fourth Baby Mama. And she has no problem being a fourth baby mama. Because you look at it like they're all the same. Every man, regardless, they're all going to cheat. There's no difference. No. There's nuance when it comes to these type of conversations. But what we can't do here, and what I hope is not happening, is that people are taking advice from these two about dating and relationships. If anything, I'm not saying find someone who's perfect, because nobody's perfect, including myself. People are very forgiving, but don't be an idiot. That's all that I'm saying, right? The fact that Apple Music is pushing dating advice from Sexy Red and Summer Walker, and people are sitting there wondering, well, what's wrong with the women today? And this conversation here is never had, shows you that they're missing a very critical factor when it comes to what's wrong with dating and relationships today. Listen, guys, of course, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you as always for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out.